hands a lot, so we're going to see what happens. All right, good morning, members of the Unit 5 Education Association.
Good morning.
Good morning, members of the school board and administration.
Good morning.
Good morning, other members of the Unit 5 family. Before I get started, I have to take a moment of personal privilege to thank a couple people in the audience. I want to thank Ben Matthews, UNISERV Director from the Illinois Education Association, along with Lindsay Dickinson, Vice President of the Unit 5 Education Association. They've been with me for the last 3 years and working tirelessly. Thank you. There's a couple other people I need to thank. My mom, Joan Goeke, traveled here to watch our kids during these days and brought them to see me today. We've got Elena Christine Goeke and Theodora Hamilton Goeke. My mom taught special ed for 38 years. It's where my passion for education comes from, and where my work ethic comes from is a gentleman that couldn't be here, my father, Andrew Goeke. He's at home driving a gas truck, and I could not have learned more about working than from that man. And I have to thank my wife, Stacy Goeke, who's not here as well. She is the president of the Olympia Education Association, and it's their first day back today. So. All right, here we go. Those of you who have been here a while and have heard me speak, either here publicly or somewhere else less formally, know that there are two things that frequently come out of my mouth: swears and politics. I'm going to promise you all two things today. I will not say politics, and I will not swear. Most of you think it's good. And those of you who have spent any time with me know that I'm going to be struggling really hard to keep those promises. I began my tenure as the proud president of the Unit 5 Education Association about 3 years ago today. And I'm starting my fourth and final year as the president, fearless, proud, and with the resolve of a public education warrior. Today, I challenge each of you to commit to the following with me. Be fearless, be proud, be a warrior. I want to encourage all of us by returning to some of my words from 2014's opening day speech, and by sharing some of your words that many of you shared with me on Facebook the past couple of weeks after I invited your thoughts and feedback. Back in 2014, I stood up here and I told you public speaking is not one of my true gifts. It still is not. The truth is, I get nervous every single time I have to address you all, though I do my best not to let it show. If you want digital proof of how nervous I get, all you have to do is watch one of the bargaining update videos on the UFEA website, ufea.org. I mean, seriously, watch my facial expressions. But don't worry. The past updates are not the only bits of comedic gold you're going to be getting from me this year. This spring, we're going to begin bargaining our new contract, and I'll be making those updates again. And while I know my delivery is good for a laugh, it's important that all of us stay informed. Please watch. When we negotiate this spring together, we will work to ensure an even better working environment for all of our members, because we understand that our working environment is our students' learning environment. And when we negotiate, we keep our students' well-being at the forefront of our labor. We must be fearless in our pursuit of a fair contract, a negotiated agreement that benefits us, our community, and our students. We cannot, we do not, and we will not let fear be a part of our negotiations, nor will we let fear be a part of our daily work. Fear can have no place within these walls, because allowing fear to walk these walls means that fear becomes part of our students' education. And our mission, educating children, is too important to be ruled by fear. This morning, I say to each of you, be fearless. This work we do is hard. This work we do is good, and this work we do is important. A few weeks ago, I asked via Facebook, as we get ready for school, what's on your mind? I got a good number of responses, and a few themes started to emerge. We're anxious about technology. We're anxious about setting up classrooms. We're anxious about class size. We're anxious about finding job sites for our students. We're anxious about a state that continues to try to function without a budget, or at least without funding for public schools. Yet, while we express or internalize our anxiety, we do not let these anxieties stop us from doing the great work of educating children. Nope. We go to our classrooms. We check on our computers. We organize our workspaces, the places in which students learn, and we prepare our classroom and our curriculum for each and every one of our students. We contact local businesses about partnerships for these students. We call our legislators and tell them to pass Senate Bill 1 and appropriate funding for schools in a fair and equitable manner instead of using an outdated formula that hasn't been addressed since 1997. Do you remember 1997? Coincidentally, that's the year I graduated high school. And if costs had not risen, we would still be gassing up our cars for less than $1 a gallon. Do you remember those days? We move forward each day because we must be fearless in fulfilling our promise to students. The students and the community must know that despite our personal, our collective anxiety, all children are entitled to a free, high-quality public education regardless of where they live, and we are committed to providing it to the very best of our ability. It's what we do, faithfully and without fear. In 2014, I also told you I've been eager for this moment and that I dreaded it. That's still true. We don't get together all that much. There's over 900 of us in the Unit 5 Education Association. And in this room, at this very moment, only half of our union is gathered. That's a lot of seats to fill. That's a lot of people to please, and that's a lot of eyes. But that's also a lot of opportunity. See, that's where the sense of eagerness comes from. This moment, it's an important one. It's a moment of unity. It's a moment of purpose. We're all gathered with one singular mission. We gotta be ready for those kids when they walk through the doors tomorrow. There's gonna be approximately 13,000 students getting on buses and walking into classroom. That's a lot of students for only 926 educators. And these kids, they've been on break for nearly 3 months. They've been playing with fidget spinners. They've been going to the bathroom whenever they felt like it, and so have we, but that is over. They have been texting, they have been snapping, they have been Instaface tweeting their friends, and they've been doing it all day long. And for the next 9 months, for the next 180 days, we are going to try to convince them that these things that we have to say, these lessons that we have to teach, these assessments that we are going to administer, these things, these are more important than literally every other thing that they would rather be doing. And do you know what? Do you know what? I have every single confidence that we will do it. In fact, I know that we will do it, and I know that we will do it well. I spent just a little bit of time perusing the report card for the Unit 5 school districts, the one online that the state publishes. I want to share some facts with you this morning. Not the alternative kind, but real, true facts. Y'all remember those? Yeah, these are some facts from the most recent published school report card. We exceed state averages in a number of places. Park results, freshmen on track to graduate, graduation rates, and that's 5 years running. ACT scores, college enrollment, number of days a week in which students attend PE, retention of teachers, and one other tiny important detail. We exceed the state average in class size. We have exceeded the state average in class size for 3 years running. In fact, last year, we exceeded the state average by 5 students per class. But we're only behind the state average in a few areas. We're behind the state average in students who enroll in college that need remediation. We're behind in attendance days. We're behind in per pupil spending. And we're behind in salary. All of these facts tell me that we do more for more students. And we do it more efficiently, and we do it better, and we do it with less and for less than the average teacher here in the state of Illinois. So do not let anyone tell you that you are less than excellent. And speaking of excellence, in 2014, I told you about a little misquote from Charlotte Danielson. Excellence is a place that you visit, not a place you live. Well, I have something to share with you. Last year, 550 of us were evaluated summatively. And of the 550, more than 80% received an excellent summative evaluation rating. That's because we don't visit excellence. We moved in and we built a subdivision. Statistics like that are true facts. These facts tell us that we're doing well. Education is no longer subject to opinion. It's based on evidence, concrete facts from observations in your classrooms done by humans. But that's not enough. Nope. Our excellence is also directly tied to our students' learning. There are some that would have us believe alternative facts. They would have us believe that our public schools are failing. They would have us believe that our students are not learning. They would have us believe that we are not doing a good enough job. And to them, we say, look at the data. Our 23 public schools in Unit 5 are doing well. Our teachers are excellent. Our students are learning, and we got the data to back it up. UFEA, we are proud of the work that we do, and I'm proud that in 1 year, I will be returning to that work. It's good work. It's important work. In fact, I think it's the most important work in the world, and I know that you believe the same thing. For this good work, we can be proud. We can be proud that we meet every one of our new students exactly where they are. We can be proud that when we work to set up our classrooms, when we plan our lessons, when we reflect on our progress, when we make our copies, and when we grade our papers. We can be proud when we meet our students' parents and get to share everything that their students are learning in classes and answer every single one of their emails. We can be proud because our work is important, our work is good, and we do our work well. UFEA, be proud. But members, being fearless and being proud is simply not enough. In 2014, I quoted P. Diddy and reminded us, vote or die. Y'all remember that? That's still true. Public education is under attack. We are under attack. We have to be engaged with those who make decisions for public schools. There's a quote that I think people get wrong a lot. I've heard people say, those who can do and those who can't teach. I believe that these people have it wrong. And I looked it up on Google, so you know it has to be true. Here's the quote I found. Here's the quote that I like. Those who can teach, and those who can't move to Springfield and write laws about teaching. Let that sink in. We cannot fight amongst ourselves. We cannot be pitted against one another by polarizing partisanism. We must instead be united as public school warriors, fighting for the children that we serve every day. We have to be warriors. We have to be warriors for our classrooms, warriors for our profession, warriors for our students, warriors for our communities. As a public school warrior, this morning is bittersweet for me. This is the last time that I know I will be addressing all of you on opening day. Some of you might believe that this means that my time as an activist and public school warrior has come to an end. It has not. This is the last year in my term as president of the Unit 5 Education Association, but I am not going anywhere. Next year, I will return to the important work of teaching here at Normal Community High School, and I could not be prouder nor less afraid. While I will no longer be serving as a public school warrior who happens to be the president of our union, I also and will continue to serve as a public school warrior on the board of the Illinois Education Association and on the board of the National Education Association. And I have every single intention of staying active and engaged as a member of UFEA. Ending my term as UFEA president will not stop my activism as a public school warrior. I will continue to be proud, fearless as a public school warrior because I believe that in the public schools, we stand on the front lines combating generational wealth inequity and institutional racism. I believe that public schools are the single most stable factor in the lives of far too many children. I believe that public schools provide all children access to a free, high-quality education, regardless of their zip code. I believe that from Carlock to Benjamin, from Towanda to Fox Creek, from Cedar Ridge to Hudson, from community to west, and at every single school in between, the educators of the Unit 5 Education Association believe these same basic truths. And I believe that we will not stop standing up for children until the threat of privatization and charterization has ended. We will not stop standing up for children until all schools are adequately, equitably, and fairly funded. We will not stop standing up for children until our students are viewed as people and not data points. We will not stop standing up for children until we are allowed to teach more and test less. That, my brothers and sisters, is why we must all be public school warriors. We live in a state that tries to pit school district against school district through unfair funding mechanisms. We have a legislature and leaders who refuse to make hard choices to compromise or to pass a bill that would fairly appropriate funds for all schools. At the same time, they mandate that we test, and pay textbook corporations to tell us what we already know. Our students are learning. We live in a democracy in which the nation's highest public school official would like to see public dollars funneled into private, unaccountable institutions under the guise of school choice. We are too proud of the work that we do to let this happen. We must stand up fearlessly, public school warriors committed to ensuring that every child receives a free, high-quality public education regardless of their zip code. We must stand up, take action, and use our collective voice to help overcome student achievement gaps that exist, not because of ability, but largely because of poverty and inequity. We won't do this alone. We're going to stand up together. We're going to do this together. In this room, we're gathered as committed public school warriors, fearless and proud. Will you please recognize with me a few public school warriors as they stand? We have public school warriors serving as UFEA officers, Vice President Lindsay Dickinson and Secretary Tracy Freeman. We have public school warriors who have previously served as officers. Please stand. We have public school warriors elected to the representative council of our union and those who have served on the representative council in the past. Please stand. We have public school warriors who serve on countless district committees. Please stand. We have public school warriors who buy school supplies for our students who cannot afford them. That's everybody. We have public school warriors who come to school early and who stay late. Did you come to school early or have you stayed late? We have public school warriors who take work home. We have public school warriors who worry about their students in their classrooms. We have public school warriors who listen to students cry and who heal their wounds. We have public school warriors who do this good, important work because it is our calling. It is our career. It is our livelihood, and it is what we love to do. We have public school warriors who don't do this work to get rich. We deserve to be compensated excellently for the excellent work that we do every day. We have all the members of the Unit 5 Education Association, 926 public school warriors, fearless and proud. I am a warrior. You are a warrior. Every single one of us is a fearless, proud public school warrior standing for our students, standing for our communities, and standing for public education. We are the Unit 5 Education Association. Brothers and sisters, in 2017, be fearless, be proud, be warriors. Thank you.